not $250, not a shop appointment, not a refrigerant recharge, a diagnostic fee, or a parts order. $0. 3 minutes. The same result. Your Camry's AC blowing cold again. Fully restored, factory calibrated, running exactly the way Toyota's own engineers intended when they signed off on the system decades ago. That is the secret sitting inside your car right now, locked behind a button sequence so simple it takes longer to read about than to perform. The dealer knows it, the service manual describes it, and for 30 years, the gap between those two facts has been worth billions. To understand how that gap was created and how you close it today, you have to go back to Toyota City, Japan in the late 1980s to a team of climate control engineers who built something into your car that was never supposed to cost you a single yen. The smell of stale cabin air, the hiss of a vent pushing warm air across your dashboard in August. The moment you sit in your Camry and realize the AC isn't cold anymore. That moment is the product, not an accident, a revenue stream, and it was engineered long before your car rolled off the assembly line. Every summer, millions of Camry owners walk into dealerships with the same complaint: warm air, underperforming vents, a system that worked fine last year and now barely cools a car sitting in direct sun. They leave with invoices. They come back the following summer with the same problem. The cycle never breaks because the industry designed it that way. The service bay smells like rubber and markup. The advisor types without looking up. The estimate prints. And somewhere in that dealership's subscription database, the free fix sits indexed and waiting, invisible to everyone except the people being paid to keep it that way. In the late 1980s, Toyota's HVAC engineering division was solving a problem that had plagued automatic climate control systems since their introduction, not positional drift. The blend door actuators inside every automatic climate control unit are small servo motors. They move physical damper doors that direct airflow, hot, cold, mixed, defrost. Each position is stored in volatile memory. A tiny electronic record the system writes and rewrites every time you adjust the temperature or fan speed. Toyota engineer Hiroshi Tanaka and his team at the Climate Control Systems division understood that volatile memory degrades. Cold starts, voltage spikes, electrical interference from the ignition cycle. Over time, the stored positions drift. The actuator thinks it's pointing one direction. The damper door is sitting in another. The result is airflow inefficiency between 15 and 30%. Enough to make a fully charged, perfectly functional AC system blow warm. Enough to fill dealership service bays with confused Camry owners every single summer. Tanaka's team built a solution directly into the ECU, a reset sequence, a manual initialization command that wipes the corrupted positional data and forces every actuator to re-sweep its full range, then re-anchor to factory default positions. It took 3 minutes. It cost nothing. It was designed as a quality control tool for Toyota's own factory floor technicians. A fast diagnostic step to clear calibration errors before a new vehicle left the line. It worked perfectly, and then quietly, it disappeared from every document a consumer was ever allowed to read. Toyota built the cure. The dealership network built the price tag. The reset procedure survived, but only in one place. Dealer-only service manuals accessible exclusively through a paid subscription database that independent mechanics could not afford, and consumers never knew existed. Technical service bulletins confirming the reset as the correct first response procedure for AC performance complaints on multiple Camry generations sat in that database, indexed under HVAC initialization, cross-referenced against fault codes that any dealership scan tool would immediately flag as calibration drift, not component failure. The document existed. Your dealer just hoped you'd never find it. Meanwhile, a standard repair order for AC recalibration at dealerships across the United States was billing 2 hours of labor at rates between $120 and $160 per hour. The math was simple. The procedure took 3 minutes. The invoice said otherwise. Owners paid, returned, paid again. The recalibration wore off because the underlying volatile memory problem was never explained, never addressed permanently, never handed to the owner as something they could manage themselves. That omission was not an oversight, it was policy. Deliberate, profitable, renewable policy. Reset annually, billed annually, never questioned because the owner never had the document and the document never left the database. The service department is not the part of the dealership that sells cars. It is the part that keeps the dealership alive. Industry data from the National Automobile Dealers Association has consistently shown that service and parts departments generate the majority of dealership profit. In many cases over 60% of total gross revenue. Camry is the best-selling car in America. It has been for decades. Tens of thousands of AC performance complaints are filed annually across every Camry generation in every climate. Service directors like those managing large Toyota dealership groups in high-heat states, Arizona, Texas, Florida, understood the math intimately. An AC complaint is a high-value ticket. The customer is uncomfortable. The customer is motivated. The customer does not know what the fix requires. Regional service operations built training curricula that never once mentioned the initialization sequence as a first diagnostic step. They trained advisors to recommend system checks, refrigerant top-offs, and actuator replacements. They printed parts catalogs with blend door actuator replacement procedures that ran to hundreds of dollars in parts alone. Service lanes don't sell oil changes. They sell ignorance. And the refrigerant upsell was the masterpiece. A perfectly unnecessary procedure bundled alongside the calibration charge, justified by a low-pressure reading that a miscalibrated blend door actuator causes all by itself. They combined two procedures. One was fake. Here's what actually happens inside your climate control system when the AC starts blowing warm without any mechanical failure. Your blend door actuator, a small electric servo roughly the size of a deck of cards, bolted to the HVAC housing behind your dashboard, controls a physical door that mixes hot air from the heater core with cold air from the evaporator. The ECU tells the actuator its position using pulse width modulation signals. The actuator stores those positions. Every cold start introduces a microvoltage irregularity. Over months and years, those irregularities accumulate. The stored position data drifts. The actuator receives a signal telling it the door is at 30% open. The door is actually at 60%. You are getting half your cold air mixed with heat, and the ECU has no idea because it trusts its own corrupted memory. The system is not broken. Its memory is, and the reset procedure, the one Toyota's engineers built into the ECU in the late 1980s, wipes that corrupted memory completely in a single initialization sweep. No parts, no refrigerant, no labor. A self-correcting system that the industry chose to bill as a breakdown. The fix was always there, sitting inside the ECU, waiting for someone to press the right buttons in the right order. The dealer had the sequence, the owner had the symptom. The industry made sure those two facts never met across 3 decades and tens of millions of vehicles sold. An independent mechanic named Ray Holloway, working out of a shop in suburban Memphis with more than 4 decades of experience on Japanese imports, began documenting this in the early 2000s. Holloway had seen the pattern hundreds of times. Camry owners coming in with warm AC, refrigerant at correct pressure, no-fault codes flagging component failure, and dealer invoices showing $250 or more already spent with no lasting result. Holloway found the initialization procedure in a set of Toyota service manuals he had purchased from a retiring dealership technician. He filmed the procedure on a 2007 Camry with documented AC complaints. Vent temperature before the reset, 61 degrees Fahrenheit in an ambient environment of 85 degrees. Warm, clearly underperforming. Vent temperature 3 minutes after the reset, 44 degrees. Factory specification. He posted the documentation online. The thread accumulated more than 12,000 views before a major automotive forum moderator, employed, records later suggested at a dealership group, quietly moved it to an archive subforum with reduced visibility. He filmed it. Dealer said it was impossible. And then came the twist that made everything concrete. A dealership service technician, speaking anonymously on a mechanics forum in 2016, confirmed what Holloway's footage already proved. When a Toyota dealer runs an HVAC recalibration through the factory scan tool, the same $6,000 device sitting in every authorized service bay, the tool sends a single ECU command. It tells the system to run the initialization sequence. The actuators sweep, the memory resets. The system recalibrates to factory defaults. The exact same command the manual button sequence sends. Identical ECU instruction, same electrical signal, same result. One version comes with a digital readout on a scan tool screen, a printed repair order, and a $250 charge. The other version costs nothing and takes the same 3 minutes. Same signal. One costs $250. One costs nothing. The scan tool is theater. The button sequence is the actual fix. The industry spent 40 years making sure you only ever saw the theater. A fleet operations manager named Daniel Reyes, overseeing a large rideshare and taxi contractor fleet based in Phoenix, a city where AC failure is not a comfort issue but a safety issue, discovered the procedure through Holloway's documented thread in 2014. Reyes managed a fleet that included several hundred Camry sedans sedans, the preferred platform for high-mileage urban operation. His AC complaint volume during summer months had been generating thousands of dollars annually in dealer service charges, with inconsistent results. Reyes implemented the initialization reset as a first response protocol before any Camry AC complaint was escalated to a shop. In the first operating season, his fleet recorded 0 AC-related dealer visits for vehicles where the reset had been applied. The following year, his maintenance logs, which he later shared with an automotive journalist named Chris Valenti at an independent trade publication, showed the fleet had performed the reset procedure on dozens of vehicles across multiple model years at a total parts and labor cost of $0, with a resolution rate that rendered dealer intervention unnecessary in the overwhelming majority of cases. 3 years running, $0 spent on AC recalibration. The part costs $45 if the actuator genuinely fails. The reset costs nothing. They charge $250. Now the procedure. Key to the on position. Not start, not accessory. Engine off, ignition on. Locate the AC button. Press and hold it for approximately 3 to 5 seconds until the system acknowledges with a display change or audible click. The exact duration varies slightly by Camry generation, and the 2007 through 2017 models respond most reliably to a sustained hold rather than a tap. Set fan speed to maximum. Set temperature to the lowest available setting, full cold. Do not touch any other controls. The system will begin its self-test cycle. You will hear it, a sequence of clicks from inside the dashboard as each actuator sweeps its full range, touching both mechanical endpoints, then settling at the factory calibration position. Some owners describe it as the dash tapping from the inside, a rapid mechanical percussion that lasts between 30 and 90 seconds depending on the model year. When the clicking stops, turn the key off. Wait 30 seconds, restart the vehicle. The recalibration is stored. The corrupted memory is gone. The blend door is where the ECU always thought it was. The cold air is back. That procedure exists in the Toyota dealer service manual under HVAC system initialization. It was never hidden from engineers. It was only ever hidden from owners. It was in the manual the whole time. Just not your manual. Stack the evidence in order, and the case is airtight. A technical service bulletin confirming the reset as the primary recommended response to Camry AC performance decline. Fleet maintenance logs from a Phoenix operation showing years of successful no-cost resolutions. An online forum thread with more than 12,000 documented views, filed, cross-referenced, and then quietly archived. An anonymous dealer technician confirming scan tool command equivalents. A $250 repair order for a 3-minute procedure that requires no parts, no refrigerant, and no specialized knowledge. A mechanic with 40 years of experience filming the before and after temperature drop on camera, and a calculation that automotive journalist Chris Valenti ran in print, multiplying known AC complaint volume across Camry's dominant market share by the average dealer recalibration charge, arriving at an industry-wide annual figure that ran comfortably into the tens of millions of dollars, charged to owners for a free procedure every year across every generation of the best-selling car in America. The technical service bulletin existed in the database. The fleet logs existed in Phoenix. The forum thread existed until someone archived it. The scan tool command existed, identical to the free button sequence. Every single piece of evidence pointed the same direction, not toward a broken car, toward a broken system that profits from making you believe your car is broken. This isn't a trick, it's what they owe you, cold air. Right now, with the engine idling and the vent blowing at maximum fan 44 degrees against your hand on a summer afternoon. The dashboard finished its clicking sweep 30 seconds ago. The actuators are anchored. The memory is clean. The dealer's estimate is sitting in your glove box. $250 printed on official letterhead for a procedure that took you 3 minutes and cost you nothing. Hiroshi Tanaka's team built this reset into the system in Toyota City in the 1980s so factory technicians could clear calibration drift before a car left the line. Ray Holloway documented it in Memphis. Daniel Reyes proved it across an entire fleet in Phoenix. Chris Valenti put it in print. And the dealer, the one who handed that invoice across a service counter like it was a utility bill, never once mentioned that the fix was already built into your car. The manual existed, the reset existed, the $250 never had to.